Uh, Afternoon, everybody. It looks like I'm back on schedule, but don't count this for tomorrow because I thought today was Sunday. I was looking for church, and I was going through people's pages, so I was like, so y'all not gonna go live today? Y'all not gonna share the word of God today? Like, I was mad for 15 minutes looking for a church service. I was getting so angry because I wanted to watch church. And then after 15 minutes, I realized that today is only Saturday. So I said it's time to get up. So today we're going to discuss and talk about Esther. Esther is the 17th book in the Bible. The Bible has 66 books. The Old Testament has 39. The New Testament has 27. The author is actually unknown. Someone that is within the court that was married to Esther pretty much wrote the book. It was written in 450 BC. The time covering is 480 to 475 BC. Claims to fame. Only book in the Bible not to mention the name of God, yet the story of Esther is quite godly. Now, with that being said, I just listened to Esther, and Esther only has 10 chapters. Not even 10 chapters, but 10 chapters. And as I was listening, I heard of a young lady being in a situation to where her people are not welcome, and she was following pretty much underneath a leadership. So pretty much, let's just say, in nowadays, I have a mentor. My mentor is, let's just say my mentor is Jamaica. And he tells me to be completely quiet and don't say nothing, follow his laws and his rules, and everything will be fine. Then, I know Jamaica was kind of far-fetched. But then, as I listen, I find favor with everybody who is, who fights against Jamaicans? Let's just say South Africa. So I'm living in South Africa, but I'm really Jamaican. And I'm trying to act like I'm South African. And long story short, as I'm listening to my minister, my mentor, I find favor with the South Africans, and they come to find they like me. Then once I become queen, they ask me what do I want to do, and then I tell them, hey, stop killing Jamaicans because I'm a Jamaican woman. I know that was like a really crazy, I don't even know where it came up in my head, but it is what it is. It's what I got for you guys. So Esther has 10 chapters, and even though it's not talking about the word of God, it's talking about how Esther went in front of her people to get her people out from the slaughterhouse, and how her, by her being selected in this, she was able to save her people. And she was also able to protect the king. So that's pretty much what Esther's talking about. Some famous stories is pretty much what I'm going to say. So let's just get straight to it so I can be done today. Famous stories includes Esther is one story about a woman of Israel who became the queen in a foreign land and stopped a significant moment to kill all Jews in the land. So she stopped it, and that's pretty much what I brought up my what do you call it? Like my little analogy, my reference that the Jamaica gets South Africa. So that's what I was trying to say. Some famous verses includes Esther 5 and 8 and Esther 8 and 17. Esther 5 and 8 says, if the king regards me with favor, and it pleases the king to grant my wishes and fulfill my requests, let the king come tomorrow to the banquet, and I will prepare for them, and then they will answer the king's questions. Now, you guys going to have to read Esther. Esther's only 10 chapters, but you're really going to have to read the chapters to understand what that story is coming from. Now, the next one is Esther 8:17. It says, Esther 8:17. Sometimes the forms that I have are not good enough. In every area in the city, whatever the king wants, there will be joy and gladness among the Jews. And the fasting celebrities, and the fasting and the celebration, and many people of many nationalities become Jews before the fear of the Jews. Okay, so Esther 8 and 17 is saying that a lot of people decided to become Jews because the way that the Jews are taking over now. Not in a forceful way, but everybody's like, I want to become a Jew now. So, read Esther to learn more about it. It's kind of hard for me to explain stuff that I'm not really sure when we take one particular verse and then I have to explain it, because in order to teach the Word of God, you really have to study, you really have to get into the Word, and I can't just read a verse to you guys and try to simplify it, because there's no way to just simplify and just tell you, because what I just said is exactly what it is. A lot of people start to get scared and they say they want to be Jews. That's pretty much it, but I just don't want that to be the end of Esther and all that you know. You need to read Esther itself to understand it completely. Okay. Important parts of this book, and the book is Esther, is the book takes place in the East. This is a part of Iraq, and the only Bible story that takes part of the East, and thought to be by the Garden of Eden. Now, this is interesting because a lot of scholars out there will say that there was an East tradition far as teaching and a West tradition, which is very true. The West started to teach us something completely different compared to the East, and that's why they all say there was what is it? Not a mind control, but there was a what do they say? The people that just don't believe in God, they believe that people gave us the book for well, whatever that word is, that's what it is. So that's pretty much what that's talking about. And then let's see what else. Some other important parts is chapter 1 and 2 talks about Esther becoming queen. Mordecai adopted Esther after she was an orphan and she became queen. Chapter 4, Mordecai discovers the plot that all Jewish people in the kingdom was about to be executed. The evil plot started by Haman. Oh, that's not how you say his name, but it's like Haman. Anyways, so that man was able to be found, and Esther had him not killed, if I'm not mistaken. But he was killed. He died. He was killed. But Esther didn't want that. I'm like literally rambling. Like, I don't really know what to say about Esther. It's not about God. It's honestly just a story in there about like the meaning of it. What's the meaning behind Esther? And as I'm just reading it, it was just like, sometimes God can put you in a situation that you don't even know what you're being called for. Like, you have no idea what it is that God honestly wants to do in your life until it happens. Sometimes you are in the right place at the wrong time. Sometimes you can be born outside of your family. Sometimes you can be adopted. Sometimes your family doesn't want you. Sometimes you can be abandoned. Sometimes you can just listen to the right person that will steer you in the right direction to help your own people. So it's pretty much me deciding to get married to somebody just to save my family. But I am not in the mind frame of, oh, I'm going to marry this person to save my family. I'm just being obedient, and I'm respecting the person who has been taking care of me for the years of my life, who's telling me, listen, just do this and you'll be fine. They're not forcing me to do something that I don't want to do. I'm just somebody that they found favor over. And then to know that my people were being slaughtered and killed, that I was able to be with the person who decided to, hey, I'm going to make the law to where now you can't hurt none of my people. And to me, that's what Esther is about. Esther is not about necessarily just about God. It's not necessarily just about a law. It's not just about a girl who married a king. And to me, it's really like someone taking accountability to a situation, and they're making the best decision for it. God didn't say she was the most wise. He didn't say she found favor. It wasn't about that. It's just, I feel like she was really in a position to where now her voice speaks louder than words, and she's able to help her people. So to me, Esther is just a story that God's just saying that, hey, even though all this other stuff is going on, there is people that's going to be in your life that's going to push you, that's going to help you, that's going to steer you, and trust me, you're going to get exactly where you want to be without you even realizing. This wasn't Esther's dream. She didn't ask for none of this. She was just following what he said. There was nothing in here where she was being forced. She was just, hold on. she was just being forced. Well, she wasn't being forced. She was just being told. And by her obedience, she was able to be the queen. And being the queen, she was able to help her people. Now there's a lot of stuff that happened in between then. It's I don't know, they didn't say like how her family was or whatever, but all we know is that she's a Jew, and she was able to speak with authority and say, if she was pretty much like, King, if you love me, if this gives you pleasure, can you please like leave my people alone and set me free? Like, I want to be with you. So to me, Esther was just a break in a story compared to laws and to the way things was. It's just, I believe that sometimes like, you can look at a situation and think that, well, I'm not anything, and you'll compare yourself and you'll think the worst of yourself. But depending on how all this went on, she was of age. It didn't seem like anything bad. As I was listening to as I was reading the book of Esther, I just come to I just view this book in the Bible as being obedient, listening to those mentors that's in your life that is able to see the bigger picture, can lead you to being the woman or the man that God designed you to be, to help your people. Sometimes he's going to take anyone, and if you're not obedient, if you're not like not focused, but like willing, like she had no idea what was going to happen. She didn't sit back, and they weren't plotting, and it's like she was just doing what she was being told. And there was like honestly, there's no back and forth. She's not trying to be the voice for her people. That's just what God had her to do, and that's just pretty much it. Anything else, I really can't tell you anything else, because that's all I see in Esther. Esther was just a girl who the king really liked, and by her mentor and by her being obedient with Mordecai pretty much told her everything that she needed to do, and everybody found favor on her, and she just said, hey, can I be free, and can you stop killing my people? And the king clearly cared for her, because he was like, all right, cool, that's what we're going to do. So with Esther being the 17th chapter of the book, what I received from Esther, reason why I wasn't reading too much from my page is because as I was reading over it, that doesn't explain anything. There's nothing in here. There's nothing on this paper that explains what Esther is. So I'm kind of rattling until I can get my own thoughts. That's why I go live, because I don't want to rehearse this. I want it to come out exactly when I think about or how I say it. And if I need to fix it, then I'll go back and fix it. But other than that, I see a girl being obedient, listening to her mentor, Mordecai, and now she's in a position to help her people. And that's what I received from book Esther. Again, Esther is the 17th book in the Bible. If you want to know more about Esther, please start from Genesis to read up, and then you'll know all that you need to. All right, you guys, have a great Saturday. I cannot wait for tomorrow. I'm very excited for church. Bye.